Good Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Megan McPherson. Right now, we're keeping an eye on a wildfire burning about 8 miles northwest of Ely near Burnside Lake. In less than 24 hours, this fire has grown to around 25 acres. This morning, fire crews are heading back out there to put it out. Audrey Russo joins us now from the live desk with more.
You can see on this map the 25 to 30 acres still burning this morning. The U.S. Forest Service dumped water on it yesterday and stationed crews on the ground overnight. This morning, they plan to fly over the fire again to better pinpoint its exact size and the safest places to send firefighters today. Now, weather conditions are going to be a bit of a challenge. The forecast calls for high temperatures and low relative humidity. Now, those trees that you see smoldering in those pictures are likely quite dry at this point and flammable. But the good news is that the Forest Service says out-of-state crews are here to help. Now, the St. Louis County Sheriff says there were some initial evacuations in this Facebook post, but no structures have been lost at this time. The cause of the fire is unknown. Back to you.
Also, new details this morning in the death of John Lee. Brooklyn Park police tell us a man arrested in connection with the case has been released. Prosecutors say they're still waiting on one important piece of evidence before charges can be brought. When we reached out to Brooklyn Park police about this, they didn't share much, only saying that the county attorney is still waiting for a completed autopsy report. If you're not familiar with this case, the arrest comes after Lee's body was recovered from a drainage pond in Brooklyn Park. You can see that pond here, nearly 3 months after he was reported missing. The department says they responded to a disturbance call in March involving Lee and his friend. Lee walked away from that scene but never returned home. And Lee's family told us last night they were not aware the suspect was being released, calling it another failure in their fight for justice. The family has previously expressed frustration with how they say police have handled this case. This morning, a 28-year-old man is facing charges in connection with a deadly shooting at Canterbury Park. Court documents say Mohammed Rage and the victim were both attending an Eid prayer service at the Expo Center. Rage then allegedly approached the victim in the parking lot. The Scott County attorney says video shows the two fighting before the victim tried to run away.
Mr. Rage continued the confrontation while our victim was trying to get away, saying he did not want to fight. And eventually, Mr. Rage did pull a gun out and chased the victim and ended up shooting him.
The victim was with his pregnant wife when he was shot. The judge set bail at $2 million. Meanwhile, a 24-year-old man is facing charges after a double shooting on Nicollet Mall. According to the criminal complaint, Talib Taylor Bay Jr. admitted to the shooting at 9th and Nicollet Friday. There, police found both victims, one of whom they say was innocent bystander. Charging documents show one of them was shot twice in the chest and the leg. It's still unclear what exactly led up to the shooting. Both victims are expected to be okay. Developing this morning, a third person has been charged in the death of a beloved Minneapolis veteran. Renaya Allen is facing murder and criminal vehicular homicide charges. Prosecutors saying she was driving and hit Amos Ferrier last month. Police say Ferrier confronted the group when he saw them going through his truck. They say Allen then hit Ferrier with her car, accelerating and braking to try to get him off the hood before swerving and knocking him to the ground. She's due back in court in 2 weeks. And we're expecting new details from Maplewood police today about the man in these photos arrested for a hit and run over the weekend. It happened around 9 Saturday night. Police say a 37-year-old man was found injured near the intersection of Rice Street and Macarons Boulevard. Witnesses told police the man was hit by someone in a dark pickup truck who kept driving. At last check, he was in critical condition. Right now, dozens of nurses at the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation in Center City are holding a picket fighting for a fair first contract. The nurses say negotiations with hospital management have been unproductive. They're seeking patient safety, workforce sustainability, and secure benefits. They say today's picket is not a work stoppage. Growing backlash this morning over a moment from the state Republican convention. Delegates held a silent prayer for Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of murdering George Floyd. Party leaders say it wasn't part of the official program and happened just after the convention started Saturday morning. State Representative Danny Nadeau says the idea came from a delegate.
He came up and stood in front of the podium and asked if he could do it, and I recommended at that point that he not, but it's his right to be able to do that, as it is any other delegate at that convention, and so he did. And the motion was not out of order.
Chauvin has been convicted in both state and federal courts for George Floyd's murder. He's currently serving 22 years in prison. The Trump administration signaled Monday it's backing off plans for a $1.8 billion so-called anti-weaponization fund, using taxpayer money to pay out people claiming they were unfairly prosecuted. The Justice Department said it disagrees with a federal judge ruling that temporarily blocked the fund, but will comply with it. The issue sparked fierce backlash from both sides of the aisle. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Hi there. President Trump has previously defended the fund, arguing it's for people abused by a system that he's long believed abused him, while critics are slamming it as a taxpayer-funded slush fund. Signs of a retreat in the battle over that controversial anti-weaponization fund, with the Trump administration signaling it's backing off on creating the $1.8 billion pot of money aimed at paying people back who claim they were unfairly prosecuted under the Biden administration. The prospect of Trump allies and potentially convicted January 6 rioters scoring taxpayer-funded payouts stirred fierce backlash and rare Republican opposition.
I do think that the best way to handle it is if the administration decides to shut it down themselves.
A judge paused the fund after a prosecutor on January 6 cases filed suit. And in new comments, President Trump told ABC News, if a court doesn't allow it, and right now a court has held it up, what can you do? While the Justice Department said it disagrees strongly but will abide by the court's ruling. The acting attorney general had previously argued the fund was justified.
In response to years and years of weaponization.
And open to anyone.
Anybody in this country is eligible to apply.
Democrats on offense are promising a push to block the fund for good.
Democrats are going to make sure this slush fund is dead and cannot be revived.
Now introducing legislation to officially ban it.
It is not personal to this president and vice president. It would prohibit any future president from doing the same thing.
Bipartisan opposition to the fund already held up a Republican bill to pay for ICE and Border Patrol that GOP members hope will push forward if the fund moves to the side. A reminder, the fund arose out of a settlement for a lawsuit President Trump filed over his leaked tax returns. There's a hearing on the fund set for late next week, and now two more former January 6 prosecutors have also filed suit, joining legal challenges to block the fund. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
You have less than a week left to see a unique art exhibit on display in Uptown. It's called We Are All Watching and was born out of the emotion and advocacy from Operation Metro Surge. A mom from Stillwater formed the Rebel Loon Archive after the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in January. The once small project has grown into a collection of more than 1,000 pieces of art by more than 400 artists. 50 of those pieces are now on display through Sunday at True North Studio on Hennepin Avenue.
It's really beautiful and heart-wrenching and terrible, and I'm so honored to be trusted with the weight of this historical record.
Erica says the archive will be receiving $15,000 from the Minneapolis Foundation for publishing costs of a 200-page book featuring the art, which is now available to pre-order. Well, check your freezers right now. The Minnesota Department of Agriculture is warning customers that some flavors of ice cream from Milk Trim Creamery could contain pieces of metal. Health officials say they were sold in the Lynn Lake store between last Tuesday and Thursday last week. MDA says they discovered the issue during a routine inspection. If you have any pints, you can throw them out or bring them back to the store. Stick with us. More news and weather is coming up after the break.